Good evening, everyone. For tonight's special presentations, I'm happy to announce and recognize two individuals. One is the deputy, and the other one is a classified employee of the third quarter for 2024. Both deputies and classified employees from our Riverside Sheriff's Office are second to none, truly exemplifying service above self. And today, we honor two very special individuals, each one making their community a safer and better place to live. And for the first presentation, they couldn't join us in person, but we're going to make sure to recognize them as well. I would like to update everyone regarding the classified employee of the third quarter, which is Sheriff Records Clerk Raquel Campbell. Unfortunately, SRC Campbell is unable to join us, but we want to make sure we recognize all that she has done for her department, receiving high praise from her supervisor by regularly going above and beyond in the clerical office. And without further ado, let's give Deputy of, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's give a big round of applause for SRC Campbell, please. And for our second presentation, I would like to invite and welcome up, and if we could give him also a big round of applause for receiving the Deputy of the Third Quarter recognition, Deputy Thomas Ordway. Deputy Ordway has far exceeded expectations, as he's only been at our local sheriff's station for a little under 2 years. Via his calm and understanding demeanor, he's been able to obtain numerous confessions from local criminals, and in just 90 days, he encumbered 412 calls for service, 114 arrests, and 157 reports. Deputy Ordway is doing amazing things for our community, which he also calls home. And we are lucky to have him here at the Moreno Valley Station, setting the tone for everyone else around him and leading the way. So at this time, Deputy Ordway, would you like to share a few words? Sure. The floor is yours.
First off, thank you very much for the recognition and for this award. It does mean a lot. I'd like to thank my wife and my family for all of their tremendous support throughout this whole endeavor and this career. I'd like to thank my sergeants, my lieutenants, the command staff for all of the mentorship and also guidance that I've been given in the short period of time that I've been there. And lastly, I'd like to thank all those at the Moreno Valley Sheriff Station for making it an amazing place to work. That's all. Thank you.
And on behalf of the city and the city council, I'd like to invite my colleagues to join us here to present to you this recognition, a small token of our appreciation for your dedication and service and your sacrifice to make sure that our community is staying safe and for going above and beyond every single day. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Maddie's got to give a speech.
Come on, come on, come on. No.
Well, congratulations once again, Deputy. Thank you so much for your service to our community. Look forward to seeing you out and about in the community every single day. And with that, we're actually going to go ahead and conclude our special presentations for this evening. Short and sweet one today, but we'll be back momentarily for our regular council meeting. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley. The City Council receives a separate stipend from the Community Services District if any CSD business is conducted at this meeting. I now call this meeting to order on December 3rd at 6 p.m. on the dot. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Delgado. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Pastor Sergio Cázares from Generations Church.
Please join me by placing your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Is Pastor Sergio here with us this evening? If not, I believe Pastor Dave is here with us. If you would like to, it worked out perfectly.
Can I get a sermon? Sermon time? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Well, I'm used to people nodding off while I talk. No. Hey, let's pray. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to come together tonight and celebrate in my heart a city that's 40 years old. What a celebration and thought for me and our church, and thankful to be a part of it. Lord, I pray that you'll bless our public officials, all that is done, all that is said, conversations that are made. Thank you for those that are just public servants and give to this community and serve, from our firefighters, police, first responders, and our public service. Lord, I ask you to bless them, bless our meeting tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Dave. Really appreciate the help there. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into the next item on the agenda. I'll turn this over to our city clerk for a roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Here.
Councilmember Delgado.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bernard.
Here.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Brings us to item E, motions to excuse. Seeing as we're all present, we'll go ahead and move to the next item, which is staff introductions, please.
Eddie Rodriguez, City Clerk.
Paul Bradvica, Deputy City Clerk.
Stephen Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Brian Mohan, Assistant City Manager, Administration.
Lonnie Jimenez, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Sean Kelleher, Assistant City Manager, Development.
Angelica Frausta-Lufo, Community Development Director.
Melissa Walker, Director of Public Works.
Patty E. Wheat, PCS Admin and Financial Services Division Manager.
Robert Cardenas, Human Resources Director.
Keith Kimmel, Acting Economic Development and Housing Director.
Sarah Mack, Chief of Police.
And Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you, staff. It's always a pleasure to be in the chamber to conduct the people's business. That brings us to item G, which is approval of the order of the agenda. And I would like to call for a vote on the approval of the order of agenda. Looking for a motion and a second.
All motion.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes with 4 yeses. Next is item H, which is public comments on matters that are not on the agenda. Please be advised that the city is currently offering Spanish translation services. If anyone is interested in this service, please let the city clerk know. La ciudad actualmente ofrece servicios de traducción al español. Si alguien está interesado, por favor nos avisan. Before we move on to public comments, I'd like to remind everyone to direct their comments to the City Council. For comments on items on tonight's agenda, each speaker will have a total of 3 minutes to comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to comment on non-agenda items?
We do, Mayor. The first 3 speakers are Sandra Murphy, followed by Antoine James, followed by Brandon Karn.
Yes, Ms. Murphy. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm here to ask if it's something you can do regarding the last meeting it touched me when you said that you will protect the people who lives here and they're under the union. Is somewhere you can make a plan that any company who wants to do business in Moreno Valley to have a number that they can employ people who lives here and they're under the union. I don't think so it's reasonable for somebody who lives here to go somewhere when it's a lot of jobs over here. It's a plan or is something that it can be done among of you, all of you, to protect people who live in Moreno Valley and they can work here, because I'm talking regarding the projects. It's big, the two projects, so it's a lot of jobs. But it will be reasonable that the majority of those positions are going to be done by somebody else who doesn't live here. I don't think so. It will be not good, but it's something that the city can do. Make a clause. If you want to build here in Moreno Valley, give a chance to the people who lives here and they're under the union, also to work with the union. Give us a percentage of what you can employ here. I'm sorry. I've been thinking all about that. You have to put a percentage somewhere to protect and to help those families regarding all these big projects that we're having. We're talking about thousands of positions to build these big projects. So it's no way that it should be correct that 170% of the people that's going to be employed by those companies come from Moreno Valley. Please look under that and also give good information, because some of the persons from the union, they were saying that that project, Aquavilla project, it was not 30-something thousand pages. They say, no, it's only 19 pages. I said, where did you hear that? Say, no, that's all what it took, from this. So please, correct a lot of things that seem.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Antoine James, followed by Brandon Carn, followed by Joanne Stevens.
Hello, my name is Antoine James. A little bit about me. I came here, my family moved here in '97. Grew up here, went to college, left, served the country for a little bit, came back. I'm here today to speak not only for myself, but for 23 families. We've bought a new build off of Ironwood and LaSalle in Palmetto community. Our homes have been done and ready to move in for the past 4 months now. 4 months. The city continues to delay releasing the homes so we can move into them. I find this unacceptable. There's families that are living in motels, hotels. Yesterday when I found out why there was another delay, I had to sit there and listen to a new mother beg to have her home because they're about to be on the streets. I want to know why you guys are delaying releasing homes. We were supposed to be in our homes before Thanksgiving. We got a call a day before saying we won't be able to move into our homes. And now it's looking like we won't be able even to have Christmas in our homes. I have a 1-year-old. And because we had to move 3 times in temporary housing, I haven't been able to enjoy his first year of life. So I'm asking the council today, release our homes so our families can move into them. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you could please talk to one of our staff, we'll make sure to connect with you to get your contact information so we can follow up. Thank you for coming and sharing that with us.
The next three speakers are Brandon Karn, followed by Joanne Stevens, followed by Christopher Baca.
Ready. All right, so I was looking at many of the minutes of the boards and commissions. I go through all of them. We have close to about $2 or $3 million in now state grant funding, mainly for the arts. And I really think at this point in time, it's time for the city to consider amending the municipal code. If you have that much funding and grants coming from the state of California, I think those developer fees could start going to a lot more diverse uses. We keep criticizing the murals because they keep spending way too much money on them. And really, I also hear a lot of feedback about an art museum. We're never going to build an art museum by itself. It wouldn't be a very beneficial thing by itself. What I keep hearing, though, and a lot of feedback I'm getting is we need some sort of large-scale general youth center, community center, different than the conference center in the city and built as a permanent constructed building. Now, Ontario has a pretty good example of this. They have a history museum, art museum. It's next to their main library. They have a veterans community center, all in one building, all in one complex. And I really think it's time for the city to start using the developer fees for a permanent building at a location in that use. So what I think you should do in the next several weeks or months is have a study session, consider amending the municipal code so that 1% of funding that comes to development does not exclusively go to art, because you have enough funding for it already, and start looking at diverse uses for that funding and other things. I was here several months ago talking about workshops and a variety of other things and groups. I could right now give you 50 individuals, nonprofits that would do a graffiti art workshop, street art workshop, mosaic workshop, just for that. Music, you name it. It could be hired any time of the year. But I go through the minutes of these boards and commissions. I'm very glad to see the Historic Preservation Board bringing up an item. I just hope they have adults do the design of the logo, the seal they want to do. And I'm not really seeing a lot of discussion about activities they come up with. Yeah, I know we have a calendar. I know we have a multicultural festival. I know we have 5Ks. I know all that stuff. Where are they coming up with things? Why are we not having workshops once a month like Ontario does, Riverside does? You know, when I go to the mall, particularly the mall branch library, I see so many youth on the street. They get kicked out by security because they have to bring in their skateboards because they can't go to the park. They're shoplifting. They're getting in trouble and trespassing because they have nothing to do. This city government cannot just rely on the school districts to give them something to do. You have literally millions of dollars in grants and other funding that could be diversified, that could go to them today, this month, this week, and add on the calendar that you currently have. Workshops, activities, community murals. I'm just vouching for the arts. Whatever. This city needs to get a lot more involved and not just rely on the boards and commissions. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Joanne Steffens, followed by Christopher Baca, followed by David Zeitz.
Hello, I'm speaking as a 40-year resident. I moved in 1984. What I'm stating is my own facts and not as a planning commissioner. I just wanted to say to one of the speakers, I believe we already have Hire Moval, which gives incentives to people that do hire. And I don't know what she's talking about as far as the unions. That's a whole different area. But as far as Acobala, it's going to generate millions and billions of dollars in revenue. And we can do a lot with that. I mean, that's a lot of money. And as far as putting in something for the youth, yes, for the kids. I talked to some kids at the park, and they have nothing to do. That skate park is way too small. They should have made it larger. And they say they don't have anywhere to go. So using those funds that we're going to be generating from that huge project, those two huge projects, we can do a lot with that. And I'm just so elated to see that you guys agreed to have it go through, and we're going to have a lot of funds, a lot of money, and this city is going to be elevated to the next level. I mean, I can just see that the sky's the limit, actually. And we're going to have a lot of things that we've been waiting, that I've been waiting, and a lot of residents have been waiting for 40 years plus. And I just don't know, you know, as far as, like I said, anybody putting any kind of kinks in it, because my goodness, you know, the last project, they were in litigation. So I hope this doesn't happen with this one. But like I said, this is going to generate so much money that we can just do fantastic things with it. The sky's the limit, as far as I'm concerned, as a resident, because I have grandchildren, and I even have a great-grandson. So, I mean, having something for them to do in the arts, in the academics, and even just having them a place to go. You know, a lot of the boys' clubs have closed down. There's nothing. I mean, there's absolutely nothing if you really look around. I mean, the skate park. That's it. And then, like he said, you know, I went down to that Dollar Tree. They're taking things because they have nothing to do. Idle hands, idle minds, and they start doing things that they shouldn't do. So I'm just elated that Aquabella and World Logistics is coming in. And like I said, I don't know, maybe we better ask staff how many millions and billions of dollars are going to be generated. Because I think it's going to be billions. I could be wrong.
The next three speakers are Christopher Baca, followed by David Zeitz, followed by Luis Palomares.
Good afternoon, staff, community, and elected officials. My comments are my own, not influenced by anybody else. The two things I wanted to touch on was nonprofits and gifts to private corporations. And I just wanted to point out that we really need transparency, and we really need to know exactly where these gifts of public funds are going. For instance, some of the nonprofits are supposed to qualify before they get any fundings. And some of these nonprofits, one of them, I'm not going to mention the name anymore, but is under IRS scrutiny because they haven't filed, but yet the city gave them funding. They also falsified documents. That's the nonprofit one. Now on the corporations, it should be equal. If you're going to be giving any corporations benefits, building capital improvements that benefits a corporation, that needs to be, the community needs to know, the community needs to know, and there needs to be some type of transparency website or something that indicates exactly how the city's taxpayer money, you're getting that new tax increase. Where's all that money going to be spent? It's going to be similar to the gas tax or the lotto that was passed for certain things, and whatever happened with that? Nothing. It's the same thing with here. What is the penny tax? Where is that money going to go? So the community should know. There should be transparency before anything. And if there's any type of gifts of public funds for capital improvements that benefit developments, it should be equal, not only to one developer, but to all developers, an equal amount. And then if that is helping that corporation or that development, what benefit is it for the city? What if that development picks up and doesn't finish the project and the city pays all this money for nothing and it goes to another investor and you lose out, the city loses out. And all it is a stagnant investment for out-of-country investors under the taxpayers' dollars. So I believe nonprofits and gifts of public funds to corporations you need a transparency, and we need to know, the community needs to know where their tax dollars are going. You got, certain nonprofit, you're basically paying for their salon payments and their hairdos and their rent out of the taxpayer money. I don't think that's fair and right. So there needs to be oversight and transparency as far as what gifts or what benefits are given to these corporations or nonprofits. Thank you.
The next three speakers are David Zeitz, followed by Luis Palomares, followed by Joe Teague.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is David Zeitz. I'm speaking on my own behalf, not as a commissioner. I am troubled by, I looked up on Sequinet about a project that's going through, and there's been other projects and other things that have happened. Basically, the response time for citizens are set during the holidays. A lot of people are busy. They don't have time to look at this stuff. I don't think that it's proper that it should be done that way. It's a pretty large project. We should give our public time to look at this and be able to comment on it. I know probably the developer asked for this time zone because he would probably, he, she, or whatever it is, would get less responses. I'm also looking for transparency because not this particular council or regime, but in the past there has been many things that have been pushed through during the holidays when people are busy and not paying attention. So I think we need to maybe limit this because meetings are being canceled and things aren't going through, and general public looks at it as, well, if they're not having meetings, then other things aren't going on, so we're not going to be as diligent to watch out for new projects that are coming up and things of that nature. So I think we need to be a little more open, or maybe spread the time out a little more so it's back to normal life when these things come in front of people. Again, I just want to talk about what are we going to do with all the kids from Acapella. I hope we come up with something. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Luis Palomares, followed by Joe Teague, followed by David Nielsen.
Wow. Okay, as far as I want to say happy birthday to our city. And I want to send a shout out for a little guy, nephew of mine named Alex. He's 22 today. Happy birthday, Alex. And I want to say about, George just talked about for the kids. The kids, I'm over there at the school district fighting for our kids. Go over there. We need a lot of things, David. Go for the kids over there. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of money. We got a penny. We got a penny. It's going to generate a lot of dollars here. We can make a lot of things for our kids here. It's not going to fit over there on Acapella. We can, the surrounding parts of the city, we can make a lot of fields. Like I said, soccer fields. The mayor talked about soccer fields last time. Great idea, Mayor. We got the money. We got the land. Let's do it. Not just one or two or three that maybe they could have did over there if it was in their plans, but 15, 20, that's going to bring tons of revenue to our city alone. It'll pay for itself. We got the land and we got the money. Let's do that. That's a great idea. As far as, golly, lost my train of thinking here. My grandson, somebody talked about the skate park. Well, when he's the one that spearheaded. He's 21 now. He was 14 then. He got his friends. They came and, approached the board and, the council and talked about it. It passed. Small one right here. But that was just the start. Victoria had plans, and we had plans, hopefully, to take it east side, with help from the council and community members and everything else, and maybe even the developer here. Take it on the east side and make a state-of-the-art skate park. We're waiting for that. That's a great idea. Let's do that. We're going to have the money to do that. We need more things in this city for our kids. A lot more things, because they're idle time and they're doing a lot of the things that ain't great. So let's do something. Now that we're going to have that money and we're going to have, and the debt fees for all the arts, let's do something. I agree with a lot of things Brandon Carr was saying. A lot. That's a great idea. There's so much. God, it keeps on going on and on. Hopefully everything goes smooth with the Acapella project. And wow, what would I give? I wouldn't even want to be in those seats because this is my calling over here. But what would I give to be a council member if I was a council member? To be in your seats. The mayor to be in his seat. What a legacy for this mayor and this council. What an envy of every county, surrounding city, county. We're the second largest city in the county. This is long overdue. Who wouldn't want this in the backyard? Like I said, everybody built around us. All these other companies built around us. But hey, we're going to be the envy of all the way from around the nation. We're going to be on the map. So let's keep it going. And thank you, council, and congratulations to the one that won their seats. And let's keep on going. Let's keep it going forward. Thanks.
The next three speakers are Joe Teague, followed by David Nielsen, followed by Richard Bolter.
I'm Joe Teague. I've been a long-time resident of this city for many, many years. And right now I'm real concerned about you people upholding the Constitution of the USA. You're not doing it. We got all these homeless are raiding me just time after time after time. You're either on their side or my side, and it looks like you're on their side. The police need more power to take care of them, and the way I look at it, you're either my friend or my enemy, and you keep allowing these damn burglars who are the homeless. They're in the flood control right next to me. They use the flood control for a dump yard. The poor city or the flood control people just cleaned it up. You ought to go look at it again after just a few days. All that garbage, along with human waste, goes down to Lake Elsinore. You ought to have a little compassion for your neighbor cities and start arresting these people. I'm tired and sick of it. I'm going to start a campaign to stop public funds from coming to this city if you don't start enforcing the laws against everyone that deserves it. Thank you.
The next two speakers are David Nielsen, followed by Richard Bolter.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, members of the City Council. My name is David Nielsen. I'm the Operations Manager for the Hole in the Wall Incorporated, and we're here to give you a brief glimpse at the fourth quarter year-end report for the Community Foundation Pilot Grant Program. And so in our fourth quarter, we had 48 persons sign up for our Community Homeless Solutions Program, bringing our year-end total of clients to 269, and that's a 100% increase from the previous year before the start date of the grant. Our basic program services include lunches, hygiene, clothing, ID, birth certificate vouchers, bus passes, mailing address services. We provide case management, referrals, and placement services to connect our clients to various programs and evidence-based housing, assessing what their condition or situation is and what that may require for a successful outcome. We continue to target with emphasis on emergency housing and rehabilitation programs. We've continued to have a foot traffic about 50 to 60 persons a week accessing our program. We continue to broaden the scope of partnerships, thereby enlarging the spectrum of referrals and services provided. We have over 30 active partnerships at this time. Though we get many calls regarding homeless services from outlying areas in other counties, our focus remains community-based. Approximately 20% of inter-office hourly activity are referrals via phone. Most phone referrals come from 211. Our success rate this year for referrals and placements for those who have a desire to change their lifestyle by accessing currently active programs is about 46%. And success is defined as verifiable entry into a targeted program, either by the client or provider of program. So we've helped approximately 64 persons this year access these following programs: inpatient residential substance abuse treatment, detox, transitional living, shared housing, assisted living, and board and care, recuperative housing for homeless with chronic physical disabilities through IEHP, long-term shelter programs, back-to-work programs, mental health supportive housing, crisis intervention services, housing voucher and rapid rehousing programs, shelter and housing programs for women with children and domestic violence, shelter services. And let's see here, and as well as senior living. We will be emailing a formal year-end report to all of you. Included will be a short video soundbite of testimonies from some of our success stories. We hope that you would take the time to experience their thankfulness and gratitude and to know these lives have been changed as a direct result of the Foundation grant. The staff at Hole in the Wall Incorporated would like to thank the Community Foundation Pilot Grant Program for this opportunity, and it's our hope to be able to continue to serve the great city of Moreno Valley throughout the next year. Thank you.
The next two speakers are Richard Bolter, followed by Bob Palomares.
Good evening, Council. My name is Richard Bolter, and I am the CFO of the Hole in Wall Inc. Came up here, you know, thank you, Joe. You know, we work with the homeless all the time, and we're doing our best to help get them up and out of there and on their way, maybe whatever they need to do. You know, we did spend a lot of money in bus passes, man, trying to get people just to move on through our city. You know, a lot of times they're coming in and looking just for a ride home or someone to get them out of here, and we're trying to make sure that we're available for them to get there. And one of the other reasons we keep our door open is because for the sincere ones that truly do want to do something, that's who we're there for. Granted, do we help some of these guys that are persistent, chronic rule violators? Absolutely. You know, but to keep the doors open for the ones that are really, really willing, we're going to have to sift through some of these guys. And it sometimes it does feel like there is, we're using a BB gun to stop a freight train sometimes. But we're doing what we can, and we do appreciate what you guys have. And for the ones that we do get to serve, you know, some of them have some really hard stories, and they're not thieves, they're just broke, right? We spent like 2 times as much money on lunches, on the lunch program for them, which is absolutely best that we can do for them sometimes is feed them, right? Get them water, and so that way they're not trying to break in and steal things just to eat. You know, because they will. You starve a man, they're gonna do something. They're gonna break into your car or whatever it takes to get food. That's the, you know, so we're trying to do our best to help feed them as much as we can. You know, we get as far as the hygiene, keeping them clean, so they do have a chance to maybe find some work or whatever. I mean, it's up. We spent 49 times more than we have ever been able to. You know, better product, more product, and keeping our doors open. You know, this is we're a nonprofit. We pay for this through our own board members most of the time. You know, and volunteers that come in. Your money really helps. It truly, truly helps. And it's got to go somewhere. We will be as transparent as ever. You know, anytime you ask us, we'll show you where we've been spending the money. And we're very grateful for it. You know, we're looking forward to working with you guys next year. You know, I know we don't have the absolute solution for our homeless problem here, but we are definitely trying to do our part to help out where we can. Thank you for letting me talk. Thank you, guys.
The next speaker is Bob Palomares.
Good evening, Council. First of all, our first responders, always at the top. I wanted to talk a little bit about the ambulance incident on Sunnymead Boulevard on Saturday. You know, whoever read about it or heard about it, I think it was a person that they were trying to treat that was having some kind of issues. Then he ends up yanking out the driver of the ambulance and throws him on the ground and takes off with it. I think through all of that, we're pretty fortunate he didn't hit anybody. I mean, that could have been pretty bad. And I appreciate what Hole in the Wall is doing, you know, because they keep doing their job. They do a good job, and we've got some good nonprofits here. I know the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem are going to be heading the ad hoc committee for the homeless, and, you know, I know I don't know what their plans are, but the people on the streets, you know, I'm going to call them the riffraff because I see them every morning and in the evening on Sunnymead Boulevard or Heacock or Paris, and it's always the same people. Sometimes you see new ones, and, you know, because it's only growing. And we heard Mr. Teague, he's been dealing with it for a long time because he's right along that wash. And that's their shortcut to wherever they're going. But once it gets going, we need to deal with the people primarily that are on the streets and stay on the streets. You know, I'm sure the sheriff's department and fire department get enough calls, and it's just a revolving door. You know, they keep doing it over and over and over with no results because that's all they can do. You know, there aren't any laws that are being enforced that we have. to tell them, hey, you know what, hit the road or take these programs because you can't be here on the street sleeping. And up to the council, this coming year, let's put some effort into it. Thank you.
The next speaker is Roy Bleckert.
Well, I thought I'd pull some of Pete's old shirts out of the closet. Although he's not here, he's still watching you. As the sign says, 40 years ago, we became a city. Most everybody laid out what's really went on in that 40 years. What they didn't know, and what most people don't know, the Bob's Big Boy, now known as Black Bear Diner, that's where the first illegal city council meeting was held. They illegally elected Snidely Whiplash, otherwise known as Marshall Scott, as mayor, and we're here 40 years later with the history of where we are at. This is the challenge before all of us. You on the dais, you in the well, here in the audience, the 200,000 plus in the community. We're not going anywhere but continuing swirling down the toilet bowl unless we all get in the canoe and start rowing in the same direction. That sums up what you've heard tonight. Probably 98.7% of what you've heard at this dais the last 40 years. There's only one thing that can change it, and that's us. Will we? I don't know. Pete didn't get to see it. I don't know if I will. But you see a guy like Joe Teague, which is about, he's over 10 years older than my dad was. And it's really painful to see a community where kids had plenty of things to do, where we had a world-class sports facility that was known around the world, and all the other things that we have systematically thrown to the trash can. Maybe we'll see some forward-looking progress come up. That's the challenge I put before everybody here today. I hope we can meet it.
Mayor, that concludes all of public comments not on the agenda tonight.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and thank you to all of the members of the public who came out to speak during public comment. That brings us next to item I, which is the joint consent calendars. Before I open the consent calendar for public comment, I will turn up here to the dais to my fellow council members to see if there are any items that they wish to remove from the consent calendar for separate action. Seeing none, we will go ahead and move into public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on the consent calendar?
We do, Mayor. The first three speakers are David Carlson, followed by Christopher Baca, followed by Sandra Murphy.
Thank you. Good to see you tonight. And we're excited at Merino Christian Assembly and myself and my family. Our church is out on Nation Street, started in 1987, and a nonprofit that did it by the books and stays by the books and continues to serve our community in that way. And I'm thankful for the opportunities that we have to serve businesses in our community together, the relationships with the city, relationships with the school, where we're a partner with the schools. We did some events with CHP and the school districts and missions in the school districts and giving boxes to kids around the world. Over 6,600 shoe boxes for kids, needy kids around the world, went through the parking lot of Merino Christian Assembly from our community that are going to the world through Samaritan's Purse. So good things are going on in our city, and I'm thankful for those community times together. I've looked at the Aquabella project, and I just want to say thank you for approving that. To me, having 4 kids raised in this community, as it's been mentioned many times tonight, missing out on things to be involved with and a part of, I just look at this as something exciting, fresh, new. I want to go hang out there. I know where I'm going to be. I'm just down the street from that project. I know there's going to be traffic. I know there's going to be things that go on. There's going to be things that we might not like. But our community needs something to do. We need a place to gather and to be a part of things. So I just want to say thank you. I'm excited for the 40 years. I think it's cool. It's tonight on our 40-year anniversary of something so substantial for our city to move forward in that direction. And I know there's pros and cons and all those things. And I know a lot of those things need to be worked out. But I hope also from some of the comments from last week, I think our city has a stance against bullying in our school districts, against bullying in our city. And I felt like you guys were trying to be bullied a little bit last week in some of the comments and in putting parameters around things. Listen, those things are going to all unfold. The city's going to do things according to their code and what needs to be done. Labor is going to come in from different places, in a lot from here, and I'm truly thankful for that. But for me and my family, who have sat down and talked about this project and looked over it, my kids and my grandkids are looking forward to hanging out there and drinking some coffee and having some lunch. And hey, who knows? Maybe there'll be a church there in the midst of that project. I saw one on the little map thing, and so I'll pursue that a little bit and do some weddings there and have some time. Let's celebrate. Let's have a good time. I thank you for your support for that project. This is exciting for our city moving forward. Congratulations.
The next 3 speakers are Christopher Baca, followed by Sandra Murphy, followed by Roy Bleckert.
Good evening again. My comments are my own. They're not supported by anybody I associate with, but they're my comments, and this is what I believe. But anyhow, I just forgot to point out, congratulations, Mr. Cabrera, or Ulysses Cabrera. You won 2 out of 3. No te agüites. You're doing great. You know, not the way I voted, but hey, you know, I'm glad you're smiling. But anyhow, I want to point out again, as far as any gifts of public funds to any development. We had the last meeting, we had Evan Moron from that was propagating the libertarian that's propagating socialism. So that's like kind of weird, but I'm a socialist and I believe that the city should help development for it, but it has to be equal. It has to be to all developers. We have the district, and we have one of Highland Fairview's people that are suing them. That's Mary Ressa, and there was other lawsuits. We got some of the people in the lobby that were involved in that. So I don't understand how they're crying about lawsuits, but they're over there suing other developers. So my point being is that I'm for the city helping this Aquabella, but it has to be fair and it has to be transparent and it has to be equal. It can't be under the table. It can't be something that's going to benefit this project that in turn may never even get built and could be sold. Who knows? Highland Fairview could go with Elon Musk to Mars and build warehouses up there, and then what happens to Moreno Valley? You know? So it needs to be transparent and it has to be safeguarded as far as any money spent by the city for any development. You know, if you're going to put money into it, there has to be some kind of clause that, you know, if it gets sold or something, the city is entitled to get their money back. It can't just be given. In that case, I want to build a house, help me pay for it. But otherwise, you know, I'm for Aquabella, for the city helping them, but you need transparency, and it needs to be equal. What's good for the gander is good for the goose. And since I have a little time, I also want to point out we got regulations as far as lobbyists are concerned. You know, you had a lot of paid lobbyists, and nobody raised a red flag on that. So, you know, what's good for the gander, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So there may be lawsuits as far as lobbyists or, you know, inaccuracies.
The next three speakers are Sandra Murphy, followed by Roy Blackard, followed by Joanne Steffen.
I guess everybody's taller than me. Okay. First of all, I want to take my time to say thank you to all of you who work here. For you guys, it's not easy what you're doing, but it's many things that need to be corrected. And the first thing is analyze any plan that is going to benefit the community and is going to give an opportunity to young people. And probably you will say, why is she saying all those young people? Because the ones that we already retired after many years of working with the community, if you want to know, I worked with the community for 42 years. And I love every day to do that job, to work, because every time that I will approve cases and I will get with the person is losing the biggest gift any human being has is health. Doesn't matter how smart you are, doesn't matter how intelligent you are, doesn't matter how much money you make. If you lose your health, you lose everything, okay? So we have to be willing to love others and to help for them to have a better life. Not because you had not a good life, you're gonna make everybody else to pay for it. No, these particular moments with Aquabella and World Logistics, we're looking into plans that they're going to help for a lot of people. We're talking about thousands of people having a better life, at least a chance to have a better life. How proud you can be that one day you will say to those, I helped to that. And with the count that was the last meeting, 3-1, it's okay. It's okay because you know what? Everybody has their reasons, but we have to listen. But at the same time, be aware that the majority always will going to win. And let this plan and program to go through. Don't make excuses. Sometimes people make excuses for personal reasons. Don't do that, because you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it that you had the opportunity to have so many when they need it, not in 10, 40 years more, when you're not gonna even gonna be here to see that it.
The next three speakers are Roy Blackard, followed by Joanne Steffen, followed by Luis Palomares.
If I heard that right, Chris and Evan agreeing on socialism, well, maybe there's hope after all of this deal. It was a little over 9 years ago we had the very contentious hearings on WLC and all that. Once it's over, and I will remind you on the second reading of that when it came up, even though LaDonna and George voted against it on the first round, on the second reading, they provided a united counsel as you move forward. We all win some, we all lose some in these battles we fight here all the time in elections and everything else. But once they're done, and you got to accept the results of what it is. And even if you may disagree with it, or you might have had some contentions with things, you need to move forward. And with my previous comments, that's what we need to do today. this needs to pass, the I-5 needs to pass on a 4-0 vote with no dissenting, and this council needs to put up a united front. Again, if we don't, you will just perpetuate what's been going on for 40 years in this city. There's a lot of things. We all make choices. We all have goals. We all have a certain way we see things. But for overall, for everyone, if you want to succeed, if you want everyone to succeed, that's based on choices. That's based on freedom. That's based on the principles this country was founded on. For those that come in and, man, they can throw around campaign contributions, they can show up en masse. But I caution you to look at when somebody's wanting to eliminate your choices. That's a very dangerous step to roll down, because the ultimate ones that want to eliminate your choices are called dictators, tyrants, and slave owners. So I will say, and I will say all of you, and any one of you, if I invite you into my playground, let's have a discussion about it. Because that's the only way it's going to get fixed. We saw resounding things from our local elections on up to the national level. People are looking at things all across the board at a different level. It's about time in Moreno Valley we started to take that to heart and putting that into action.
The next two speakers are Joanne Steffen, followed by Luis Palomares.
Close it up. Put the nail on the coffin. Okay, these comments are my own and not as a commissioner. It's nice to see you guys smiling. I mean, really. I mean, you haven't smiled in a long time, Cabrera, and it's nice. It really is. And you should too, Shalinda. I mean, maybe we're going to turn a page, really. And it's nice and it's refreshing. And we need to move forward. We have to come together and start before Elon Musk comes and snatches the developer away. You know, that's the $50 million question. As Roy said, we all need to get in the same boat. And if it's a canoe, you know, I'll just push somebody over. I got big hips. And start rowing. Let's all go in the same direction. We want the best for our kids. Our kids are our main priority because they're our legacy. And we need things for them. It's time. It's their time. It's their time to shine. We all have children. You already got one and one on the way, you know, a bun in the oven, like they say. And I'm sure you want the best for those kids, you know, and we all do. And it really is something for the city as a whole. It's not just something we're building and then all of a sudden, you know, it's going to be just for one area. This thing is like the Grove on steroids. And then you have the World Logistic coming down. I mean, these things are going to elevate, like I said, our city to a next level. I mean, just top drawer, like they say. So, I mean, everybody, it seems to me, wants the same thing, maybe in a different way. And I can understand why, you know, the mayor voted the way he did. You know, he had his reasons. Everybody does. But like I said, all you guys seem to be now just the election's over, you know, the dust is cleared, and now it's time to roll up your sleeves, put the residents of this city first, and I'm talking about Aquabella, and just get it going. He used union labor before, and I'm sure he's going to use it again. But people run scared. And in these times, I don't blame them. It's hard to put food on the table, pay your bills, groceries, utilities, rent. But I'm sure you guys are going to do the right thing. And everybody I've talked to, they're like, whoopee, you know? And so I'm really glad to see, like I said, that you guys are all smiling and hopefully getting along, and all the animosity is left the building.
The next speaker is Luis Palomares.
Wow, Joanne, the Acapella, I can't say enough about it. Everybody says so much already. We might not be here, Joanne, to go into the promised land, but our grandkids and our great-grandkids and our kids will. I have 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. I got 25 grandkids. I got 14 great-grandkids. They're going to get to see this vision because they all live here, except for one. And my grandkids are scattering all over the place now, you know. They're going to different states and all that because of their jobs and all that. So this is a great thing for Moreno Valley. Wow. You know, I got a few calls. Shalinda's people called me, some people from her district that voted for her, that we say vote Shalinda when she was running. Man, they were saying, wow, this is great. In our district, it's going to be in that 4th district, I believe. I could be wrong, but wow, it's amazing. And I thank all you members. I'm just, like I said, I'm just stuck because, I mean, we haven't had something like this, you know. Riverside has come and took everything away from us. All Acapella, the 11th hour, the other side of Day Street. I mean, we're the biggest, second biggest city in the county. It's our time to shine. It's our time to bring something. And all the traffic's going everywhere else, but we ain't getting the tax dollars or the revenue. We still got the traffic on the freeway. What needs to happen, they got to do something with the freeways. Double deck, something. We got to do something. But anyway, I'm so glad. And as far as the hole in the wall, my hat's off to them. They do a lot of good service to the community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as far as homeless, let's find out where originally they came from, and let's see if we can get them to their cities to get those resources from those cities, because, you know, it's not a good thing. And one thing don't fix it all. It takes a lot of things to make it happen and fix it. And we got to find out where, return to sender, and let's see how we can get that going. And as far as Mr. The guy was here talking about what's going on in his property, the old guy, I forget his name. God, what is we take an act of Congress? We could send a man to the moon. Why can't we do something for this guy, gentleman that's been here forever and put so much into community? And thank you so much again for everything that you all do here, and I appreciate it. And hey, it looks like a joyful day today. Let's keep it going, and everybody have a Merry Christmas, and thank you.
Definitely joyful. Feels like a carol, a group of carolers is about to walk in and start singing. You know, it's the holiday spirit, right? It feels good. Well, thanks again for all the public speakers. Appreciate it. And that brings us back to the dais for any deliberation, any comments, or motion and a second. I do want to just point out one item very quickly. I-6, I want to give a thank you to city staff for securing another grant. This is $125,000 from United Activists to assist with paying for spay and neuter for dogs. So really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing more grants come in the future. Would any other council members like to make any comments? If not, seeking a motion and a second.
I motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes with 4 yeses as well. Next, we move into public hearings. Item J, questions or comments from the public on a public hearing matter are limited to 3 minutes per individual and must pertain to the subject under consideration. Those wishing to testify should complete and submit a goldenrod speaker slip to the city clerk staff. We have item J1, which is a staff report and a TUMF update for the 2024 Nexus study, and we will pass it to Public Works for a staff report.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. The item before you this evening is to conduct a public hearing for the adoption of the Transportation Uniform Mitigation Fee Ordinance and a resolution for the TUMF fee schedule. WRCOG prepared an update to their TUMF Nexus study to assure the fees reflect changes in the TUMF network and the cost of construction. This study was approved by WRCOG's board on September 9th, 2024. The city must update our ordinance and resolution to allow WRCOG to charge and collect the updated fees for development after the effective date of April 1st, 2025. That concludes my report. I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Walker, for the staff report. Much appreciated. That brings us back to the... Seeing none, we will go ahead and open the public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
We do not, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. And that brings us back to the dais for any deliberation if desired. If not, I'll entertain a motion and a second.
I just have one comment, and not so much a question or anything, but this is good for our city. The fiscal impact will provide necessary transportation upgrades. So thank you guys for working hard on it.
Thank you. And if there's no further deliberation at this time, I'll make a motion to approve staff's recommendations.
I second that motion.
The motion and a second. Please vote. That passes with 4 yeses as well. Next up, we move to general business, item K, and we have a couple items here. First up is K1, which is provide direction regarding the purchase of city logo shirts for the council-appointed boards, commissions, and committees, and we will pass it to the city manager's office for a staff report.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. This item before you is seeking authorization for the city manager's office to create a new policy based on the criteria that contained in the report, which discusses the purchase and issuance of city logo shirts to the council-appointed boards, commission, and committee members. In the creation of the policy, the criteria as stated in the staff report would be 2 logo shirts will be provided for each of the members' terms. As chair and vice chair, positions change annually. 2 new shirts would be provided for those that are coming in and out of those positions for the remainder of their term. Funding will come from the liaison department budget for all of those boards, commissions, and committees. And all purchases must go through the city's approved apparel vendor to ensure that the embroidery is approved and consistent with the city policy 2.01 emblem use, which was attached for reference. With that, that completes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much, ACM Mohan. Appreciate the staff report. Next up, we'll move to council questions of staff, if desired. And first up, we have Councilmember Delgado.
Brian, I have one question regarding the consistency of, so the vendor's perfect, right? So we're consistent on the vendor. I'm good with that. The consistency of how they're going to look from one commission to the next commission, is that going to be consistent citywide?
Yes, well, if the policy, if directed by council tonight to bring a policy back on the 17th, policy would go ahead and be drafted, approved. We would work with our apparel vendor to ensure that each of the boards, commissions, and committees embroidery is consistent with the current embroidery of all the departments and divisions that are part of that apparel program. So from the city manager's office to the financial and management services to the council office, they will all be consistent.
Thank you.
I have a question about the colors. I thought that you were going to ask about that. But first, I want to say thank you to the Environmental Historical Preservation Committee, who are the ones who spearheaded looking into policy to see how or if commissioners were allowed to get city logoed shirts. So during that, we did talk about giving like a color, like the Environmental Historical, say they pick green, and then Library Commission will pick pink. But whatever it is that the committee choose a color to represent theirs, like not like us, we just get the book and we choose a style we like, but I'd like to see it so that it's consistent among the commissioners. So once this commission picks that library is green, then from there on forward, the Library Commission would continue to get green shirts and continue. So is that in this, or is that dependent on, has that been considered or included in this?
If directed in the approval tonight and the approval of the policy on the 17th, if so approved tonight, we can go ahead and include something of that nature in the policy. We would provide the apparel vendors standard colors that are available, and it would then potentially be up to the boards, commission, and committees to decide what color they would want. But we could write that into a policy if
Yeah.
possible.
But right now it stands at, it would be up, they would have autonomy to decide amongst themselves? I think
Yes,
that's okay
unless
too.
otherwise directed during the policy, the creation of the policy, yes.
Thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
Are there any other questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
We do, Mayor. Dr. Mack?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the City Council. I'm Dr. Mary McBean, and I want to say congratulations on you guys' re-election. Congratulations. And especially to my City Councilwoman, Elena Santa Barbara Cruz. I want to speak first and say, as a commissioner, I'm very pleased that our councilwoman was able to spearhead this for us about our T-shirts. We've been asking for this for quite some time, and we're very pleased with her for her diligence working on this for us. And now all of the commission boards will have an opportunity to have a T-shirt. Our chairperson said he wants some black. We don't. I want to say this is an exciting time. And I think we should do what the other speakers have said. Let's move forward. Let's make a difference. I see you guys' smiling faces, and it makes us feel good. As commissioners, we're very excited and very happy that we are commissioners, and we want to leave a legacy for the city through our work. And so one of my other speakers are coming. All of the council members are here. Raise your hand. We're all here, and we come out to support each other and support what we're doing. And we hope that what we do will have a lasting effect for the city of Moreno Valley when we're long gone. Thank you very much.
That concludes public comments, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This time we'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais for any deliberation, any council comments, and then a vote. And I would like to just say, I'm glad that this is happening. Little by little, the boards and commissions are, taking steps forward, right? Becoming more engaged, more active, bringing proposals, making things happen, something that we've never really seen before, right? Especially not to this scale. So I just want to, once again, thank you all for your service, for your commitment to the city of Moreno Valley, and look forward to seeing more of this and seeing you guys wear those sharp city logo shirts in the near future. So that's all I got. Any other comments, any other deliberation? If not, I'm looking for a motion in a second.
I motion to approve the policy on criteria based on the report to return to the council on December 17th, 2024 for approval.
I second that.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes with 4 yeses as well. Congratulations. Next up, item K2 is a letter of support for Riverside University Health System grant application of Proposition 1 funding, and we'll turn it back to the City Manager's Office, ACM Mohan, for a staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. MPT, council members, this particular item before you meets the requirements related to Ordinance 1008, which was approved and executed March 5th of 2024 when it comes to letters of support from the council. Specifically, this particular letter of support is for RUHS Health Systems to look for behavioral health continuum infrastructure program application funding, specifically for a portion of their expansion, which is to create a wellness center with 100 beds. And the letter is attached for additional detail, but for this particular item, the approval tonight would allow the council member's support as well as the mayor's signature for a letter of support of this particular funding application. With that, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any council questions for staff? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move into public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
We do not, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So we'll go ahead and move into council deliberation if desired, and then go into a vote. And again, want to say thank you, because this is something that has been in the works for a while. So really appreciate staff communicating, talking to our counterparts at the county, specifically the folks at RUHS, Dr. Chang, and everybody within RUHS who made this possible. Really excited to see that this is a collaborative effort where the city can join forces with the county in this Prop 1 application and hopefully secure this funding from the state and expand the RUHS campus over on Cactus. So that's going to result in, of course, more access for healthcare services, for medical services, and also more high-paying jobs and careers right here in the city of Moreno Valley, which is always a great thing. So again, just really, really glad to see that this is happening, and hopefully we'll be able to secure this funding and start the construction. So I'll leave it there. Councilmember Delgado. So
I too, myself and Councilmember Bernard met with the CEO of RUHS, Jed Cruikshank, and the Director of Mental Health for the county, Matt Chang, and we had some questions for them because it's going to be in the city of Moreno Valley, and it's going to be a psychiatric wellness or mental health wellness. So we had some questions. They cleared all those questions and they addressed those, and they were quick. It wasn't like they were just kind of feeding us what we wanted to hear. They literally have a plan. And like the mayor said, they did talk about the high-paying jobs that this will bring, not only in the construction phases, but the actual application of the wellness part. So we were excited after we got off the phone with them. We were excited that this is going to come to Moreno Valley for healthcare services. So it was very, 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 very good to see and hear what their plan is. So very, very good project.
Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
I also met with the county supervisor and our city staff to talk about my concerns about discharge. I'm very concerned about bringing in a lot of patients into these wellness centers and about our residents in the vicinities. So I've been reassured that during the CEQA study, we will be able to bring our concerns about discharge and the neighboring communities. And so with that reassurance, I am in support of this letter as well.
Thank you. Are there any other further comments, any deliberation? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve staff's recommendations.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes with 4 yeses. Next up, item K3, Environmental and Historical Preservation Board Flag Design Competition Proposal. And we'll turn it over to Sean Kelleher, ACM Kelleher, for a staff report.
The item before you this evening is based on a motion and second at the last City Council meeting to allow a presentation of the Environmental and Historic Preservation Board City Flag Competition. With that, I am available, as well as representatives from the board, for a presentation this evening.
Thank you, ACM Kelleher. With that, we'll go ahead and move into any council questions of staff. Oh, is there a presentation before I jump the gun here? Okay, yeah, and good evening, Commissioner Mendez.
Good evening. I'll be very brief, and so Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council, and community. I currently serve as the Vice Chair for the Environmental and Historical Preservation Board. And I am here before you today because of the new flag proposal, or more so, new flag competition design thing, and I'll get into it. We're super excited to talk about this proposal, and this is a perfect time as now we are reaching 40 years of a wonderful Moreno Valley. And I just want to say happy birthday, Moval. This is super exciting. I'm 25, so I'm like half as old as a city, which is incredible. But I'm super excited to be here for a very long time. I love this city, and so, I'll just get into it. As a board, we would like to create an opportunity for the community to get involved in creating a new design for our Moreno Valley flag. Many people aren't aware that there is currently a flag. I believe it was approved in 2003, or so it was a while ago. And there's not a lot of awareness around it, but I think this is a great opportunity for people to be engaged and be able to be part of the process and designing what they vision Moreno Valley to look like and to represent its vibrancy. I would also like to talk about how the library has their little libraries and the art commission has their beautiful murals, and we would like to do our part as a board and spearhead this competition. So we would be cranking out the details, and we would definitely, of course, work with staff and run that by you guys to make sure that everyone's working together if this is something that is approved tonight. Again, different generations would be able to design the new flag, and that is truly exciting. I would like to thank our liaison, Councilwoman Baca Santa Cruz, for supporting our proposal. And if approved by the council tonight, we would hopefully be able to formally announce the competition of the flag at Saturday's celebration, if that is allowed. But yeah, that's essentially my presentation. And I think it's really cool because we have a lot of creative people in the city of Moval, as we've seen reflected in our murals, and it's growing. And I think that, again, this is a wonderful opportunity to engage different generations of our city. And it's important that we celebrate not only the history, but our community and their ideas. And that's all. I don't know if you guys have questions or anything.
Yes, Councilmember Delgado.
I do have some questions regarding the parameters of the rules. Say, for instance, no political, no agenda on our city flag. Is that going to be part of it?
I mean, yeah, we still have to go back and design and see what this competition would look like. But those are definitely things that we would not want, of course. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
And
of course,
it's intended to be like an adult competition. It's not like a drawing contest, right? It's professional artwork and graphic artists and
yes.
Okay.
Yes. However, I personally speaking as an individual, I would like to see college students get involved as well, because a lot of college students are very high tech and they have really cool. I'm at UCR, so I'm very in tune with that. Go Highlanders. Yeah. So I would like to see a variety of community members get involved, but of course we would have requirements, age range, and so on and so forth to make sure that I mean, I would love to see kids drawing, but unfortunately it is a city flag, and this is incredibly important, and it's going to represent the city for a very long time. But maybe children and their parents can work together. I don't know, but I'm open to ideas. Whatever you all think is most appropriate, we're more than happy to bring into the rules or requirements.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great, and definitely the final flag, right, as has already been said, should be probably some college age, university and above, right, adults to come up with a professional design, because it's going to be technically official,
Yes.
assuming this is approved. But maybe, I don't know if you guys would be open to still allowing maybe kids or having like different age categories or something, but obviously the final one would be separate, everybody else, just so the youngsters, the kids, especially the grade school
Yeah.
students, high school students, middle school, etc., could also participate. I think it would probably be fun. So is that something maybe you guys are open to or could consider? as
Yeah,
well?
I mean, I don't want to speak for my board, but I really doubt that we'll have any reservations against that. That is a phenomenal idea. So yeah, they don't feel left out, and then they're also celebrated and included. And I have nieces and nephews here in the city, so they would also be super excited about that. And I know your son and so many children, right, who also have a lot of creativeness to represent. So yeah, that's definitely something that am gonna push for, and I don't think anyone's gonna have a reservation against that. That's a great idea.
And I just want to make sure that you're a recommending body, right? So the ultimate approval would come to city council, right? Okay, so it would, the politics or whatever, the ultimate, once you select a winner, we would, or recommend a winner, we would approve that, right? Okay.
Yes,
Just
yes.
making sure.
Yeah, so we only send recommendations to you guys, and we help make recommendations, but you guys will always have the final say. Yeah. That's exactly right.
That's exactly how we
Yeah.
envisioned it at committee. So thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you all so much, and I'm happy to communicate more. And I hope this gets approved. This is I think, one of our first proposals. So, our board is very excited about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, or Vice Chair, I should say. Okay. And actually, before we get to public comment, any council questions for staff? I do have one question before we move into public comment. As far as the funding, because there might be some costs associated with this. Maybe, I don't know, if the commission decides to do like some kind of prize money or something like that, or just to pay for materials, right? If there's like public workshops or community workshops to pay for, like paper and other materials, just so people actually can draw and produce their proposal. Where could the funding possibly come from? Like, is this something that maybe some art diff can be used for, or some other funding?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. If you recall, when we had conversations, there is already a policy that sets up certain budgetary parameters for boards, commissions, and committees. But as this particular staff report is set up for recommendations that provide staff direction, so you could, in essence, provide direction with this to go ahead and just set up a budgetary allocation for $1,000, $1,500, whatever you determine as a body. And then we could go ahead and work with, from the liaison department, which is community development, they could work with the environmental preservation board.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, maybe that's something, if the council is on board with that, and providing direction to allow the opportunity to allocate funding, and then leave it up to the commission to decide, and have that conversation on how much is it going to cost, or how much might we need, so that we can actually provide some of these materials and workshops and public outreach. So, okay, sounds good. Thank you, Brian. Okay, are there any other questions for staff? If not, we'll move into public testimony. All right. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
We do, Mayor. The first speaker is Marquise Evans, followed by Brandon Carn.
Y'all don't like tall people together.
You can move if you like, there's some buttons there, you can move it up.
Oh, it comes up? Oh, no, I'm good. I can work it out like
You good?
I'm straight. How y'all doing today? All right, peace and blessings. So I'm here on behalf of my K through 8th grade achievers. I was informed by Commissioner Dr. Mack. So I'm Keith Evans, Dean of Culture and Head of School at Garvey Allen Stein Academy. We're a school that provides our young achievers, K through 8th, with a high level of STEAM experience, while also activating their creative spirit through visual and performing arts. As a school that provides service for achievers who represent groups of people who've been historically marginalized, and also make up the majority of the population in Moreno Valley, we pride ourselves in training our achievers to be excellent in every endeavor. Many educate young achievers, but we train them to transform them into achievers and to be men and women of excellence by equipping them with the necessities that they actually need to thrive in the community versus just surviving. Young achievers who are not seen or appreciated by the community that raised them typically leave, then proceed to provide service for the communities that value their presence. Our mission is to basically allow our achievers to have that sense of responsibility towards the community that they serve. And so with that being said, I said a lot, but my mission is to present the great work that we're doing at Garvey Allen, but also I humbly ask the board to receive more information about how Garvey Allen STEAM Academy can be included in this Moreno Valley flag competition, not only because I'm confident in their artistic abilities, but they're dope, they're fine, but also so they could build their legacy in Moreno Valley and have that sense of responsibility towards their community as well. So that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Brandon Karn.
So I am in full support of this idea because the city seal, from the feedback I get, especially from out of town, this design goes back probably about 40 years. I was looking at the staff report, and my goodness, that thing was scanned well before even personal computers existed for most people. I am totally in support in changing the image. It needs to be definitely updated, especially since technology has changed in the last 20 to 40 years. I am in full support of that. I was going to comment on this should be an adult-oriented contest, 18 and above. I fully support that. It was brought up, so I don't need to say that. However, I do think this kind of reiterates, go back to the point I said earlier, that the boards and commissions in the city as a whole needs to have more events. I think the last city contest, I know there was one Veterans Day contest. The last time I remember there being a board and commission art contest was an Earth Day contest, maybe like 8 years ago. So I used to work for the city of Riverside. I painted in Ontario and a variety of other cities. They have so many contests just monthly, and many of them are regulated, overseen, or developed by boards and commissions. In this city, we only mainly have the school district doing it, maybe the county, maybe business. And I remember when Marquez was here, I actually because the board and commissions were not meeting, they were not getting resources, they couldn't even ask for money from the city council at that time. I asked his permission for 2 years to do my own oriented contest, and I taught for the school district back then, and we did it for 2 years. You don't get an immense amount of participation on local topics because the population doesn't know that much about the local history, but we were able to make some positive impact. The first year I did gift cards with him. Second year we ended up making it into a flyer of some kind, and we sent an email out to the school district, to the VAPA coordinator, and they got to print that out and put it on student work on the different school walls and stuff. And it was historic photographs. I photoshopped in their drawings, and we had a flyer. And actually, these contests do make a regional impact. You all probably remember August 26, 2021. That was the day the 13 Americans were killed in the Afghanistan withdrawal. And that had a local context. I'm friends with at least one of the mothers, Lance Corporal Dylan Marola's mother. And it has a local history context because when those Marines were training, they would pass through. We see the Marines frequently on the freeway going to 29 Palms between Camp Pendleton. Well, the last place that 11 of them were on American soil before they were killed in Afghanistan was March Field, the USO. And so we decided to dedicate it to them in 2022. Their families all know about it. I actually recommended it to the Morola's family has started a nonprofit in Rancho Cucamonga. So I took the example template actually today and suggested she do that in the school district in Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, using the experience we had in Moreno Valley. Because not a lot of people know those young people were here. They trained here. They first went to Jordan. Then they went to Afghanistan. Then they were killed there, tragically. And we don't have a lot of knowledge of that, so these are opportunities for things like that.
That concludes public testimony, Mayor.
All right, next we will bring it back to the dais for any deliberation and a vote, if desired. And I'll defer to my colleagues to make a motion and a second. The only thing I would say is hopefully whoever makes the motion will include in there to provide flexibility and the authority to the commission to request some kind of funding. And when this comes back to the council, we can approve whatever comes back. And then maybe just as Brandon was speaking, I've thought about something. Because the city of Riverside, I'm sure most of us have seen Mount Rubidoux, right? They have the cross, and then they have an American flag up there. Everybody knows about it, and it's a really popular landmark. and I could see, whatever flag comes out of this, I could see it like at Terry Peak or maybe on the M Mountain, and having a nice trail up. I dream a lot, but just an idea that's way out there. Maybe sometime in the near future we could see whatever flag comes out of this up on one of these hills and mountains. So, yeah. Any other council members? Any deliberation? Any motion?
Yes. I would personally like to thank the historical board. Y'all have been pushing through every brick wall they have set up for you. I am extremely proud of you all. You guys have been pushing and figuring this out. I remember when I was talking with Gabby and Sammy about something as simple as getting a shirt, and to see this happen. And also a sidebar shout out to Patty, who was in here pushing her library commission, which is how we found that there was a pot of money that was used. So I think I am just very proud. Like, these are the ways that we would like our boards and commissions to work. These are the things that we would like you all to do. And with that, I want to make a motion to approve a potential flag, city flag redesign with the flexibility of a budgetary option. Do we say like $1,500? The flexibility of $1,500. Not to say you have to use it all, but to make sure that you do have some leadway if you have to do advertising or anything like that. And so I'm looking for a second.
I would love to second that, and especially in front of our commissioners, Ms. Pleasant, Jumbo, Margaret McBean, and our Vice Chair Mendez. Thank you for coming out tonight. Your involvement, your service to the city as a commissioners is invaluable, and I thank you. Like Councilmember Bernard said, we appreciate you, and by bringing this forward and approving and moving it forward, I think that you understand that how much you matter to the city. So I second that motion with all my heart.
There is a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes with 4 yeses. Congratulations, commissioners. Look forward to seeing those flags.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, we have item L, which is the Regional Commission and Committee Board reports. We have 3 this evening. We will start with Mayor Pro Tem Bernard for the report from RTA.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I'm providing updates for the RTA Board of Directors meeting held on November 21st. The board awarded an agreement to NS Corporation for the design and build of the Riverside bus wash in the amount of $748,463, with a 10% contingency of $74,847, for a total project amount of $823,310. The board accepted the Riverside Transit Agency's fiscal year 24 audited basic financial statements, single audit report, and audit communication letter as final. And that concludes my report on the last RTA Board of Directors meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Next up, a report from Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz for WRCOG.
At the WRCOG Executive Committee meeting on December 2nd, 2024, reports for fiscal department activities, committees, and agency activities, and various external committees were received and filed. Additionally, staff recommendations were approved for the following: a memorandum of understanding between WRCOG and SCAG for the Regional Early Action Planning 2.0 Grant Sub-Regional Partnership Program, the TUMP program reimbursement agreements for 2 new and 1 amended reimbursement, a comment letter to the California State Transportation Agency on proposed updates to their climate action plan for transportation infrastructure, and a letter of support for the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California's funding agreement for the Delta Conveyance Project. The next meeting will be scheduled for February 3rd. Will be dark in January at 2 p.m. at the County Riverside Administrative Center on Lemon Street in downtown Riverside. This concludes my report.
Thank you. And the final report tonight is a report for RCA. I'll be providing that report. And this is for our December 2nd RCA Board of Directors meeting held at the Board of Supervisors building. The following reports were received and filed during that meeting. the multiple species habitat conservation plan fee collection for September 2024, the joint project review status, acquisition status, monthly investment report for September 2024, consultant activity, quarterly public engagement metrics for July through September 2024, quarterly financial statements, and DIF annual and 5-year collection report for fiscal year ending 23-24. Service plaques were presented to outgoing members of RCA. The first one was for Leslie Altamirano of Jurupa Valley. The second was for Councilmember Lisa Sobek of the city of Menifee. And the third was for Supervisor Kevin Jeffries from District 1, thanking them and congratulating them for their dedication and service while serving on RCA. Additionally, the board approved the 2025 Board of Directors and Executive Committee meeting schedule and elected to keep the current chair, Kevin Bash, and vice chair, Karen Spiegel, for the upcoming year. The board received a state and federal legislative update and adopted the board's 2025 state and federal legislative platform. Finally, there was a presentation on the reserve of the month, the Teledyne Reserve, located within the northwestern part of the MSHCP plan in Jurupa Valley and Eastville area. Our next RCA meeting is scheduled for January 6, 2024 at 12:30 p.m. at the County of Riverside Administrative Building in Riverside. And that'll conclude my report for yesterday's RCA meeting. Next up, item M, Employee Association report, and we don't have one, which brings us to item N, the famous city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and members of City Council. So it's 2 items tonight. Yes, today is Moreno Valley's 40th birthday, and we'll be celebrating that on this Saturday at our tree lighting ceremony. We are going to have our usual event for the tree lighting ceremony, but also we'll be celebrating her birthday. So there'll be a birthday cake. It'll be a surprise there, and make sure you're able to sing. So we're going to be singing happy birthday at that day also. So please do come out. And Jeremy's team promised to make it snow. So you want to see it snow in front of City Hall? That's going to happen also. All right. And the second item is we are in full drive for the Sparkle Love, the holiday toy drive. And if you can't donate, we have boxes in front of all the city facilities, all the fire station, and make sure the toys are unwrapped so that during the giveaway they're easier to deliver. So if you could donate, please drop by our city facilities and drop off some unwrapped toy packages for kids that our public safety can disperse. That concludes the city manager's report for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the report, Mike. That brings us to council closing comments, and we'll go to D1 for Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
So, I know, right? So first of all, happy birthday to the city of Moreno Valley. I started high school out here when the city was 6. We've grown up together. I've raised my family here. I'm so proud to be reelected to my first official term. The election results were official tonight. So thank you to everybody who worked on the campaign. Thank you to all who continue to support. And what I'm most happy about is to be able to continue to serve the community, to continue to serve on my regional commissions, my city commissions. The boards I am the liaison are excellent. I look forward to having our bring back our commissioner dinner where we celebrate them. I look forward to joining up with our police and fire the end of this year for giving back to the community. And to city staff, you've done an excellent job all year long. You all have so much to be proud for. I'm proud to be a part of this team. And the community, all of you who come when you don't need to, you don't get paid to be here, and yet you sit in this chamber week after week and review the agendas, and you're engaged. I appreciate every one of you, and thank you. Happy holidays. See you Saturday.
Thank you. Next up, Councilmember Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations to my peers up here on the dais, however you guys say it, Elena and Ulysses, and then Arlan Gonzalez for winning his seat for D3. Welcome. I guess he'll be here on the 17th, but you guys worked hard. You guys deserve it, and I'm looking forward to another 2 years of working with you guys. So I attended the Student of the Month for the school district, and I tell you, they seem to get better and better. And I don't mean better as in entertaining. I mean better as in the way and the criteria they pick these kids. It is amazing. And then if you guys ever get an opportunity to go, please do. It is very inspiring on where they came from to where they're going, and where they're at now. So it's pretty amazing. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and was able to spend it with family and give thanks to what you guys are thankful for. I know we did at our house. I'd like to congratulate ACM Mohan, and I just want to tell you, Brian, publicly that you have some pretty big shoes to fill. Mike led this city for how many? 5 years, and he's been a part of the city for longer, but led it in that role for 5 years. So you have some pretty big shoes to fill. Mike, congratulations on your pending retirement, and well deserved. And I know that I speak from experience that as a recently retired individual from a long career, that you're going to enjoy it. You're gonna don't fail, please. You're going to enjoy every minute of it, but don't fail at retirement. A lot of people fail at retirement after their first 6 months because they're itching and they want to go back. But stay strong, my friend. Don't fail. And I just want to let you guys know, I know why everybody's happy today. Today is Giving Tuesday, is it not? December 3rd, Giving Tuesday, right? So everybody's happy. It was a given that everybody's going to come in here happy. So, but I'd like to keep the momentum. And I always say at the end of every meeting, please be kind to one another. And I truly mean it. And tonight is a testimony of how, I think the mayor even said there was going to be carolers outside waiting for you guys when you guys leave. So that's a testimony on how positive we can be as a city, as the leaders and the staff of the city of Moreno Valley and the residents. We may not always agree on policy. We may not always agree on projects or things going forward in the city. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're all here in this one city. I'll tell you, this football team would take another city's football team, and we would win. So I thank you guys for working with you, and for the city staff. You guys are awesome, and we're going to wind down another year. Some of us have a couple years left, some of us have longer, but we're going to wind down another year of great things moving the city forward. So please continue to be kind to one another. Put a smile on someone's face, especially during the holidays, for those that don't have as much as you. And that's it. We'll see you on the 17th or Saturday, wherever.
Thank you. Next up, Mayor Pro Tem Bernard.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to say I attended Wake Up Moval. And when they say wake up, my gosh, I keep asking them to move that thing to a decent hour. I also want to put this on record out loud. I have asked ACM and Mike, Mohan and Mike, I've asked you both to present us next year for Santa to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm putting this on record now because I understand we do this for the kids, but I feel like there are a few of us that are still big kids that would like to sit on his lap. Sorry, my bad. Anyways, so please come out. I know. Brian told me he would try though, but I want to put this on record. So I went to Wake Up Moval, and on behalf of being able to represent the city, that's always a good, fun time to be had by all. That was fun. Also, as you've heard some of my counterparts say up here, we have snow day this Saturday. It's a very fun day for my kids, and my family love to go. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. is snow, so please, please, please bring your families out. Snow play run 0 to 5, and snow runs 6 to 12, $6 for resident fee, and you get 45 minutes of snow play, and there's an unlimited zone. Snow play starts at 10. And please come back for our tree lighting at 5:45, where we are looking for the other man in a red suit. And to celebrate our city's 40th anniversary, our 40th birthday, which I think is pretty special that we're here tonight and being able to do this. So I thank you all. Also, I'm sorry, I'm in the process of losing my voice. So I just want to say, I hope you guys all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoy your holidays, as I've told many of you, getting outside and just being around your families this holiday season, whether you're giving or getting, is just a blessing in itself. And I always have to follow up Councilmember Delgado, so I guess I'll do, what's my favorite one this year? I'm going to quote, because he's always telling us to be nice to each other, so I'm going to quote Jerry Springer. Yes, I am. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
Yeah, when I heard Jerry Springer, I was expecting something else, but we kept it PG-13. Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And just a couple things for my closing comments, and then everybody could head home to their families. Of course, today is the city's 40th anniversary, so happy birthday to the city. Look forward to that cake cutting ceremony on Saturday. Also, congratulations as well, Mike. You know, it's rare that I get emotional when, you know, we say farewell to, you know, when I say farewell to anyone, but, you know, the 5 years that you've been here went quickly, and you're definitely going to be missed big time. So thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for the city. Dang, yeah, I'm getting emotional. But, I mean, that's how much you meant to us, you know? You're leaving a lasting mark and a legacy here in the city of Moreno Valley. So thank you. And congratulations, Brian. I know it's not final yet, but congratulations on a unanimous, vote of confidence and direction. You know, you do got some big shoes to fill, but I firmly believe you're the right man for the job, and you're going to keep that momentum going. So congratulations to you as well. So just a little bit of business. I know. Some members of the public brought up homelessness, and, you know, I definitely not a surprise that I'm bringing it up again, but definitely look forward to working more to address homelessness in the city of Moreno Valley. Of course, on tonight's agenda, we move forward with providing a letter of support to the county for Proposition 1 and their application. So definitely we'll be doing everything we can to secure that funding. Also, HomeKey Plus, hopefully I'm not premature in mentioning it, but it looks like that is moving in the right direction so that we can actually submit a HomeKey Plus application with the U.S. Vets that is located on the March JPA so that we can build more housing for homeless veterans and their families. So that is moving in the right direction. So thank you. Thank you to staff for working on that and making that happen. You know, hopefully some of the things we can work on over the next couple of years are maybe looking at our anti-camping ordinance, you know, with the recent Supreme Court decision, seeing if we make any changes there, and really looking at, gotten more and more complaints from residents seeing homeless folks in their neighborhoods, like in front of their houses and all that. So we definitely need to do more and see about, you know, revising and revamping, updating our anti-camping ordinance. Also taking a look at possibly expanding or doing more with the Homeless to Work program that has been very, very successful. Care Court also now is being implemented here. So look forward to working with our public safety partners to make sure that we're implementing that effectively and getting folks that are suffering from severe mental health issues like schizophrenia or other psychotic disorders the help that they need, because there's just too many of those folks that are suffering out there in the streets on their own. So Care Court hopefully will make a big difference with that. And then, of course, collaborating more with our neighboring cities, with other mayors, council members, our supervisor, our assembly member, our new state senator as well. So looking forward to continued collaborations. And then I'll hold off on making any proposals, but I think we all agree. You hear members of the public, the council agreeing that the city needs more facilities, activities, programs for youth, for families, whether that is, you know, sports facilities, a sports complex, museums, public art programs, facilities, whatever that may look like. I think we all can agree that we need more of that in the city of Moreno Valley. So look forward to getting the full council on board and then bringing forth some proposals. And in closing, just want to mention a couple of events that happened over the past couple weeks. There was a turkey giveaway. This was the second year in a row that we do this, and we want to continue it. This was led by Assemblymember Dr. Corey Jackson, and this year we collaborated with Supervisor Extian Gutierrez and also was able to partner with them. So we were able to give out a lot of turkeys and other side dishes to members of the community, not just in Moreno Valley, but also in the city of Hemet. So appreciate our assembly member and our supervisor for making that happen. Also, FSA had a Pies Helping People initiative, and they were raising funds to Pie It Forward, is what they were calling it. So a shout out to FSA, Family Services Association. I was able to go to their child development center over off of Hemlock, right down the street from In-N-Out, and give some pies to some families there. So thank you to FSA for pieing it forward and bringing smiles to families around Moreno Valley. Also, RUHS Festival of Trees just happened last week over in the city of Riverside. Proud that the city of Moreno Valley is a sponsor, and we had our tree there, and we were recognized. So really, really happy to be there and represent the city alongside some of my colleagues. And then last but not least, another invitation to Snow Day and the holiday tree lighting ceremony this Saturday. It'll be a special one because of the 40th anniversary for the city. Really, I guess we should just call it the City of Moreno Valley's birthday bash or something. It's a birthday party. So with that, go ahead and conclude my closing comments. Happy holidays to everybody, and we'll see you on Saturday or December 17th. Have a good night.